All right, so a couple chapters ago with the coordinate plane projects, we talked about the basics of coordinate planes, how to graph, quadrants, axes, stuff like that, yeah? That's why I had you do that activity before, so I don't have to reteach again. Did we all do okay on that activity?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay, so we know if I draw this little graph here, what axis is the horizontal one? This one's X. What's this one?
Y.
Y. Which one do you graph first? X. And then Y. Okay, what is this middle point here? Origin. That's where you always start, yeah? Okay, which one's quadrant 1? Top right.
And 2 is that way.
Quadrant 2 is this way. And then you keep going in a circle, right? And then this one's 4.
Yeah.
Yeah?
I forgot in a period.
Okay, so questions over the basics. Okay. You did this on your activity, but I want to stop on this one, okay? We want to name the ordered pair for each point. So raise your hand if you know the ordered pair for G. 1, 1, right? What quadrant would that be in? 1, right? They're both positive. Okay, what's the coordinate of H, or the ordered pair?
0.
Is it 0, 4 or 4, 0?
0, 4.
Oh, 4.
Which one do you graph first? X, so what's X on?
0, 4.
X is on 4, and then Y, pay attention, and then Y goes nowhere, so it's on 0. Okay, so on the x-axis it's on 4, and then it doesn't move up or down, so we stay on 0. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So where does that one lie? It's on the axis, right? It's not in a quadrant. That one's on the x-axis.
Didn't we already do this?
Okay. So let's talk about a new topic. Okay? So here we have what's called a relation. A relation is just a bunch of ordered pairs put together. Okay? They represented that relation in an XY table. Okay? So you can either draw it horizontal like they have, or you can draw a vertical table. I'm going to draw a vertical table for now so we can go over how to make an XY table. Okay? So take one coordinate at a time, one ordered pair. So I'm on this one, 0, 2. What's my X value? What's my X value? Because remember it goes X, Y. So 0 is my X. What's the Y? 2. So they go together in the table. Okay, they go next to each other on the table. What's my next X value? 1. 4 goes with 1. What's the next one? 2. And then 5 goes with 2. And then my last one, 3. And 8 goes with 3. Okay? Now they say the domain is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. What do you think the domain is? X values, okay? Domain is X values. So what do you think the range is? Y values. Why do you think domain and range is important?
Because it's the X and Y axis.
Not axis. They're the values. What if you didn't have a graph? Like right now we don't have a graph.
Then you know what their value is, so you can make a graph and graph them down.
So if it tells us the X values ranges from 0 to 3. That tells you, what? What'd you say, Toby?
I don't know.
That tells you that you start at 0 and the farthest you go on the x-axis is 3.
Yeah.
So that shows you it only goes from 0 to 3. Okay, and then it says our range is from 2 to 8. So we find the y at 2, and then it goes all the way up to 8. So it doesn't go out of those boundaries. So really, domain and range talks about boundaries. Okay? Does that make sense? Okay, so domain is the x values. Range is the y values. Note how they wrote it. They wrote it in set notation. You need to write it in set notation. Okay, what do I mean by set notation? In parentheses or in brackets, yep. And then what else do you notice they did? Lowest to highest, right? Because does it make sense to say I went from 4, 5, back to 2, and then to 8? No, you want to go in order so that you know what you're talking about. What range you're at, what your range is from your x's and your y's. Okay? So domain is your x values, range is your y values. So on this one, I want you to make your xy table from this relation and then state the domain and range. Make your xy table, state domain and range. All right, let's start with the xy table. We're given this relation, so we just need to separate them. What's my first xy value? 1, 4. What's the next one? 2, 2. Next one? 3, 0. Next one? 0, 2. Now, in the xy table, it is okay that they're out of order. Okay? I don't need least to greatest in xy tables or anything like that. But when we start doing domain and range, that's when we need at least to greatest. Okay? So domain is my what values?
0, 1.
Domain is x values, and we want least to greatest. What's my least x value? 0. And then 1, 2, 3. Okay? Set notation, I have braces or parentheses, whatever you guys want to use. Okay? Range, what values are those? Y values, right? Least to greatest? 0, 2. Okay?
4.
Note what I didn't write.
Because there was 2, 2, so that's already the range.
Yes, you do not need to state repeats. Okay? Why do we not need to state repeats, Abel?
It's the same number, so that if you see the range.
Yep, same number, so we just want it in simplest form. We don't need more numbers than what we need. Okay? So if you ever see repeats in domain or range, you do not have to put them twice. Just put them one time. Okay? Any questions with domain and range? That was the biggest new thing today. So domain is what? Domain is our x values. What's our range?
Y.
Y values. How should you write domain and range? Least to greatest, simplest form. What else? In set notation. Yep.
In brackets.
Yep. Set notation. Any questions about 1.6? Okay.